Welcome to another episode of Bourbon and Data Breaches, where we cover 5 of the most interesting breaches from this last week. I'm Steve.
I'm Connor.
Well, this week in cybersecurity breach breakdown, we've got trucks, tech, and truffle butter. When hackers go Michelin star, Ivy League, and industrial strength. Starting with story number 1, Paccar. Paccar's large U.S. truck manufacturer had a meeting with Coinbase cartel. That's right, Coinbase cartel rolled straight into the heavy machinery business, breaching Paccar, a global truck and engine manufacturer. They reportedly snagged engineering files, supplier data, and global logistics details. Ransomware just hijacked the supply chain without even needing a driver's license.
Yeah, I think Coinbase cartel has been popping up a lot here lately. One of those 2025 newer ransomware gangs. While the name Paccar might not jump off as a household name, they manufacture Kenworth, Peterbilt, DAF, which are, at least here in the US, well-known 18-wheeler heavy trucks brands. And when you look at the kind of data compromise here, while this is a manufacturer, right? Yeah, engineering documents, supplier data, logistics information. This could have a much bigger impact than it looks to be on the surface. Heavy trucks, over-the-road trucking is connected to just about every single industry, and the logistics information could be pretty vast.
I think the Coinbase cartel picking Paccar is a fascinating escalation. Ransomware meets diesel. These guys went from stealing corporate emails to targeting the core of commercial transport. If what they claim is true, they are sitting on blueprints, supplier lists, logistics schedules for one of the biggest truck manufacturers in the world. That's rich on wheels. I think what makes this one dangerous is the potential chain reaction. Every parts supplier, every distributor, every fleet partner wondering if they're next. Honestly, watching ransomware gangs shift into supply chain disruption feels less like cybercrime and more like market interference at this point.
Moving right along to story number 2, Dartmouth College, an Ivy League university. Clop ransomware decided to enroll at Dartmouth, but instead of tuition, they took research data, student records, and faculty emails. It's the worst case of higher education since that one guy paid $200,000 for an NFT. What do you guys think about Dartmouth being on the list this week?
This is like a deja vu from the worst timeline. The education sector keeps getting rated like it's still 2019. We got one of the most elite universities in the US, which probably has research funding for advanced encryption. It can't stop someone named Clop from reading faculty emails. It's a real problem. Universities have massive data overlap, students, healthcare, research, government, grants, all with minimal segmentation. This isn't just another campus headline. It's an entire digital ecosystem begging to be monetized by threat actors.
Yeah, it's never good when we see higher education or any kind of education compromised, right? Nothing like getting your degree, but also having to make sure you sign up for identity monitoring for the rest of your life. Dartmouth being a prestigious Ivy League school, there could be further implications. Obviously, a lot of high profile educators and individuals are associated with this school. I think we can also officially say that Clop is back after their seemingly summer vacation. We're at around 20 plus victims this month after taking a few months off during summertime. Clop is back. And I think this is the first time I've seen Clop hit higher education. Maybe they have in the past, but as of late, I think this is one of their few and only education targets, which is interesting.
I don't know if 20 victims makes them back. Usually when they're active, it's hundreds. So
We're only halfway through the month. We'll see.
That's true. Clop likes to announce victims all at once. They've been keeping their site active by announcing one a month, but certainly not the flood of victims we saw in February. So we'll have to see what happens next with Clop. Moving on to story number 3, AGFA, a global imaging and healthcare tech firm. They met Everest ransomware. Everest ransomware scaled new heights, infiltrating AGFA, the imaging and medical tech powerhouse. They reportedly leaked R&D files and internal documentation, system diagrams. Looks like someone finally took exposure in imaging a little too literally.
Digital imaging products in healthcare obviously can be a critical component to any kind of diagnosis. But when you look at R&D materials, system diagrams, internal medical imaging documentation, there's probably, we looked at internal or imaging documentation, there's probably some patient information there as well. Breaches like this can pose risks broader throughout the healthcare industry, right? This might cause not only sensitive data for their clients, but potential delays in any kind of production of necessary medical equipment. Not something we love to see.
I didn't know they were into healthcare. I always knew they were into photo booths and stuff like that. Everest taking credit for AGFA's AGFA's reach is like someone robbing a hospital and a factory at the same time. It's a hybrid of healthcare, imaging, and industrial tech, meaning the fallout from this could stretch from patient scans to engineering statics. So ransomware groups are learning that the best targets aren't just rich, they're essential. We're talking about IP theft, regulatory headaches, and possibly exposure of clinical data. This brand depends on trust and precision, and both just took a hit. Everest didn't just breach a company, they might have compromised an entire segment of healthcare manufacturing.
Story number 4 gets spicy with John George's Michelin star restaurant group. Play news. Ransomware dined fine this week, hitting John George's, one of the world's most famous restaurant empires. They allegedly leaked employee files, financial and vendor contracts. Congratulations, hackers. You've officially given the term data leak a new flavor.
Okay, Play news ransomware bragging about hacking John George's restaurant group with multiple Michelin stars. It's hard not to picture a gang of cyber criminals extorting chef, but it's more serious than that. It reportedly leaked employee records, financial docs, and vendor contracts, which means private investors, high-profile clients, and suppliers, and they're suddenly in play. Fine dining is built on exclusivity, and now the brands that sells luxury has to explain how it ended up on Ransomware blog. This is probably a reminder that even white tablecloth empires run spreadsheets, and spreadsheets don't care how many stars you have.
Yeah, the Michelin stars are very prestigious, right? Jean Georges has 3 Michelin star restaurants, one that has 2 stars, which is pretty rare. Not only the data, Frank, that you described that could impact vendors, investors, and high-profile clients, but this hurts reputation as well. This is very high profile, very high class, and something that doesn't look good on a brand.
Final breach for today, Victor Scientific, an organization involved in diagnostics and genetic testing. Everest ransomware made another appearance this week, breaching diagnostic lab Victor Scientific. They allegedly leaked medical and genetic data because apparently hackers decided DNA was the next big thing to tokenize.
Yeah, this one is a little bit concerning. I don't know what's worse, social security number or your DNA profile, but both are not good. This is why I've never done one of those at-home genealogy testing kits, because it might end up in the wrong hands. Definitely concerning for the patients that have their information and their DNA compromised. We'll see what happens in the future with that kind of exposure, but to me, it feels like the fingerprint being compromised for someone who has access to a highly secret lab.
Yeah. Everest showing up twice in 1 week tells you everything about where ransomware is headed. Healthcare data is still the holy grail. This is called Paccar Scientific. They run diagnostics nationwide, and that's about as personal as data gets. A breach like this doesn't just violate privacy, it undermines the credibility of clinical partners that depend on them. If Everest really has patient identifiers on DNA test data, the long-term impact goes beyond ransom notes. It's reputational damage baked into the business model. And probably the worst part is that you can't reset your genome like a password.
From truck engines to tasting menus and test tubes, ransomware crews are proving that no industry is off limits, especially if it's profitable, prestigious, or palatable. This has been your Bourbon and Data Breaches, reminding you that if it moves, computes, or serves caviar, someone's already trying to encrypt it. Stay patched, stay paranoid, and remember, Michelin stars don't protect against malware. Till next time.